Jin Ping Mei Chapter 3, Part 1. Definitely kill the Queen Mother and take bribes. It was said that Wangpo of Ximen Xingyang wanted to meet the female daughter, so she said, "Godmother, please tell me if this thing is done. I will give you 10 taels of silver." Wangpo said, "Sir, please listen to me. The word exposed is the most difficult word. What is exposed, for example? It is now commonly known as affair. 5 things must be in place before it can be done. The first is Panin's good looks. The second is that he has a lot of money. The third is that he is as rich as Dang Tong. The fourth is that he is young and has the patience as soft as a needle in cotton wool. The fifth is that he has time to spare. These 5 pieces are called Pan Donkey and Dang Xiaoxian. Once everything is complete, the matter will be obtained." Simon King said, "To tell you the truth, I have all these 5 things. The first one is that although my appearance is not as good as Panin's, I'm still good enough. The second one is that when I was a child, I traveled around 3 streets and 2 alleys, Chuan. I once raised a big tortoise. Third, my family also has a lot of money. And, although it is not as good as Dang Tong, I can still live a good life. Fourth, I am the most patient. He beat me for 100 times, and never thought that I would retaliate to him. Boxing. Fifthly, I have the most free time, otherwise I would not be able to work diligently. Godmother, you made it yourself, and when it is complete, I will thank you sincerely." Wangpo said, "Sir, you said all 5 things are in order. I know there is one more thing that disturbs you, but it probably won't work." Simon King asked, "Tell me, what's the trouble?" Wangpo said, "Officials, don't blame me for being blunt, but the most difficult thing is to get the light. 10 cents, even 9 cents and 9 cents. There are also difficulties. I know I have always been stingy and refused to spend money carelessly, but this is the only thing that bothers me." Simon King said, "This is easy, I just listen to your words." Wangpo said, "If the high official is willing to give money, I have a clever plan. I must ask the high official to meet this girl." Simon King asked, "What's your clever plan?" Wangpo smiled and said, "It's late today. Let's go back and discuss it in 6 months and 3 months." Simon Xingyang said, "Godmother, please give up. I will do what I want, and my kindness will be repaid." Wangpo laughed and said, "The high officials are panicking again. Although I can't get into King Wucheng's temple with this plan, it is better than Sun Wuzi teaching female soldiers. He will catch you 9 times out of 10. I will tell you today, the background of this female child is that although she is of low birth, she is extremely talented. She is good at playing and singing, can play needlework, sing songs from hundreds of schools of thought, and knows everything about backgammon. Her nickname is Jinlian, her maiden name is Pan, and she was originally from Nanmen. The daughter of Pan Tai was sold to Zhang Die's family to learn how to play and sing. Later, because the wealthy family was old, she sent him away and made her his wife for free without asking for a penny from Wuda. This daughter had no leisure time, so she often went over to spend time with him when she had nothing to do. Sit down, when he has something to do. He comes to ask me to take care of him. He also asks me to be his godmother. Wu Da goes out early these 2 days. If a high-ranking official wants to do this, he will buy a piece of blue silk, a piece of white silk, and a piece of white silk. Then I used 10 taels of good cotton and gave them all to me. But I walked over and asked him to borrow a calendar date, and asked him to pick a good date, and ask a tailor to do it. If he saw me saying this, he would pick a date, and not if he is willing to do it with me. The matter will be over. If he happily says, I will do it for you, if I don't ask a tailor, it will be enough. I will ask him to do it and sew it for me. This light will be divided into 2. If he comes, I will arrange some wine, food and snacks for him to eat at noon. If he says it is not convenient, he will definitely go to home to do it, and the matter will be over. When he eats without saying anything, there were 3 points of light. You didn't come on this day. Until the 3rd day, around noon, you dressed up neatly. Using cough as a sign, you shouted in front of the door, "Why haven't you seen Wang Ganiang for days? I buy a cup of tea. I will come out and invite you into the room to sit and have tea. If he gets up and goes back when he sees you, can't I catch him? The matter will be over. If he sees you coming, when I didn't move, the light would be 4/4. When I sat down, I said to the female, "This is the official who gave me the clothes. I'll kill him." I exaggerated the many benefits of the official. Then he showed off his needle. If he doesn't come to solicit and agree, the matter will be over. If he agrees to talk to you, the light will be 5 points. I said, but it is difficult for this lady to make a move with me. If you do, I will kill your two benefactors, one for the money and the other for the effort. It's not that we are so different from each other. It's rare that this lady is here. And the official will be the master to pour water on the lady's hands, then take out the money and ask me to buy it. If he leaves, should I catch him, the matter will be over. If he doesn't leave, things will be easy to accomplish, and the light will be 6 points. But I took the silver and said to him before leaving, "Thank you, madam, please sit down with the official. If he gets up and goes home, I can't stop him, the matter is over. If he doesn't get up and gets better again, this light will be 7 points. Wait for me to buy when he got the things and put them on the table." He said, "Madam, please go and clean up your life and have a glass of wine. It's rare for an official to waste money." He refused to eat at the same table with you, so he left and the matter was settled. If he doesn't get up and the matter goes well, the light will be 8 points. When he is drunk, he is about to enter the port, so I will tell you that the wine is gone and I will let you buy it again, and you will take the money. He also asked me to buy wine and fruits to go with the wine. I will close the door and lock you two in the room. If he is anxious and runs away, the matter will be over. If he is dragged to the door by me, when he is not anxious, this light has 9 points, and only 1 point is missing. It's just that this is difficult. When you, the high official, are in the room, you can say a few sweet words, but don't get angry and disturb things with your hands and feet. I won't care about you at that time. You first put your sleeves down on the table and put down a pair of chopstick hooks. Then, you picked up the chopsticks and put your hands on his feet to pinch them. If he starts to make a fuss, I will come to rescue him. This matter is over, and it will never happen again. If he remains silent, the matter would be very clear. This is just perfect. How can you thank me? Simon King was overjoyed after hearing this and said, "Although you can't go to Lingyan Pavilion, Godmother, this plan of yours is a great one," Wangpo said, "but don't forget to promise me the 10 taels of silver." Simon King said, "I have to eat a piece of orange peel. And don't forget Dongting Lake." "When will my godmother be able to make this plan work?" Po said, "I can only get rewarded if I come tonight. I will go over and ask him before he returns from Wuhan University. Use the calendar to tell him in detail. Please send someone to bring you some silk and cotton as soon as possible. Don't be late." Simon King said, "Godmother, this is my business. How dare you break your promise?" So I said goodbye to Grandma Wang, left the tea shop, and went to the street to buy 3 pieces of silk and 12 ounces of pure water. The family asked Daener to wrap it in a felt bag and send it to Mrs. Wang's house. Wangpo happily accepted it and sent the boy back. Exactly, when the clouds and rain in Wushan will come, don't let King Xiang build the Chu Tower. At that moment, Mrs. Wang collected the silk and cotton, opened the back door, and walked past Wu's family. The woman then went to sit upstairs. Wangpo said, "Why don't you, madam, only have tea with a poor family in the past 2 days?" The woman said, "It's because I have been feeling unhappy these past few days and I am too lazy to move around." Wangpo said, "My wife has a calendar at home. Let me take a look at it and find a day for tailoring." The woman asked, "What kind of clothes do you want your godmother to cut?" Wangpo said, "It's because I have a lot of illnesses and aches, and I'm afraid that the mountains and rivers will be high, and the water will be low for a while, and my son is not at home." The woman asked, "Why is the eldest brother missing all the time?" Wangpo said, "That guy was out with a guest. He didn't hear any news when he came back. I'm getting more and more worried every day." The woman asked, "How old is your elder brother this year?" Wangpo said, "That guy is 17 years old." The woman said, "Why don't you find a marriage with him and marry your godmother?" Wangpo said, "Because of this, There is no one in the family. When I am struggling to make ends meet, sooner or later I have to find a wife for him. Wait for the guy to come, then pay attention. Seeing that I am only wheezing and coughing day and night, my body is broken. I can't sleep. I am only in pain. I have to prepare some clothes for the last minute. It is rare for a rich official too often while having tea at a poor family. He saw a doctor in the house, bought a maid, and arranged marriage. He did this to me and took care of me in all matters big and small. He also gave me a set of clothes as a gift, complete with silk and silk. And I have a lot of cotton that I have kept at home for more than a year and cannot be used. This year I feel that it is hard to make a living. I don't want to catch up with the leap month again. Taking advantage of the 2 days of idle time, I have to make something and be blocked by the tailor. I just have a busy life. I don't want to do it. I can't tell you how hard it is. The woman smiled and said, I'm afraid I'm not satisfied with what I did. If you don't mind the time, I'll have nothing to do these days. How about I make love with my godmother? After hearing this, the old woman laughed and said, if you can do it with your hands, I will be fine even if I die. I have heard for a long time that my wife is good at needlework, but I don't dare to come to Xiangyang. The woman said, what's wrong with this? Since you have promised a godmother, you must make it with your godmother. Give the calendar days to someone to pick a good day in the zodiac, and then the slave will take action. Wangpo said, my lady, I don't know how much you know about your poems and poems. How can you show someone the calendar? The woman smiled and said, my family has been out of school since childhood. The mother-in-law said, easy to say, easy to say. He took the calendar and handed it to the woman. The woman took it in her hand, looked at it once, and said, tomorrow is the day of breaking up, and the day after tomorrow will not be good either. It will not be the day of tailoring until the day after tomorrow. Wangpo took the calendar and hung it on the wall, then said, if your wife is willing to have sex with me, it will be a lucky star. Why choose a day? I also thought that tomorrow is a bad day. And I can only if you don't need to break the sun to make clothes. I won't avoid him. The woman said, Grishu's clothes are just used and worn out. Wangpo said, since I am willing to do it, I am brave. I just want a star tomorrow, and I will go to the Han family. The woman said, why don't you come over and do it? Wangpo said, even though I am old, I still want to watch my wife live her life, and I am afraid that there will be no one in the family. The woman said, since you say this, I will come over tomorrow after dinner. The old woman thanked her deeply and went downstairs. She replied to Simon King that night and agreed to come the next day. There was no words to say that night. Early the next morning, Mrs. Wang tidied the room, prepared her sewing, arranged tea, and waited at home. Let's say that Wu Da had breakfast and went out on his own with a load on his back. The woman hung up the curtains, assigned Yinger to look after the house, and walked through the back door to Mrs. Wang's house. The woman was so happy that she went into the room and sat down. Then she ordered a cup of walnut and pine nut tea and ate it with the woman. After wiping the table clean, he took out 3 pieces of silk. The woman measured the length, cut it completely, and began to sew it up. The old lady looked at it and couldn't help but cheer. What a trick! I have lived for 60 or 70 years, and I have never seen such a good needle in my eyes. He was treated to wine and food, and a bowl of noodles was served to the woman. After sewing for a while, it would be late next time, so I packed up my life and went home. Just as Wu Da's lad came in, the woman pulled the curtain down. When Wu Da entered the room, he saw his wife's face was slightly red and asked, where are you coming from? The woman replied, it's the lady next door who wants me to make some clothes for the funeral and arrange some wine, food and snacks for me during the day. Wu Dao, you don't want to eat what he has to offer. We have other things to ask for. He asked you to make clothes, so you come back and eat some snacks. If it's not worth it, just mess with him. You can do it tomorrow. When you go home, bring some money with you and buy some food and wine to repay him as a gift. As the saying goes, distant relatives are not as good as close neighbors, so don't lose your favor. If he refuses to give you the gift in return, bring your life to your house and pay him back. That's it. Exactly, the mother's cage is designed to be deep, and the young man is ignorant and ignorant, bringing money to buy wine to reward a treacherous person, but giving away his wife. After hearing what Wu Da said, the woman had nothing to say that night.
Alright, this part of the story ends here.
Want to know what happened next? Let's listen to the breakdown next time.